And the Suicide Squad news just keeps on coming because now we have some even more information about this movie. This time is coming from the splashreport.com. I'll leave the link to this article down in the description below. And I think this website does have some validity here because actually a whole day before DC Fandom, when the whole cast was announced, they made an article about how Idris Elba was going to be playing Bloodsport in the film, and that was a whole day before anything was even announced. So, of course, do take this with a grain of salt because you never know. But this does sound like it has some validity here. So they've basically have a little bit more info here, and they are a bit spoilerish here, so I just want to give a quick spoiler warning here. So if you want to go into this not knowing anything about this film, then turn away now. But now that you've been warned, let's jump right into this because the first thing here is that apparently the Suicide Squad, aka Suicide Squad 2, is apparently about as hard R as you can get. And there's apparently going to be tons of gore, violence, and full frontal nudity in this early cut. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure how to feel about that. Well, actually, no, I'm exactly sure how I feel about that, and I don't like it. Yeah, it'll be cool if this was rated R because then it would allow them to do some more violent stuff. But I don't want it to be rated R because I want to actually be able to go see this movie in theaters. And well, if it's R, then I'm a lot less likely to be able to go see it in theaters, because I'm underage, and nudity. Well, like why does that need to be in there? Like this should just be a PG-13 movie. I mean, sure, the violence would be good. Like, yeah, that would be nice, but the nudity, nobody needs that. Like, really? So I don't get the point of that. But according to this report, that is what's happening. But this is what kind of makes me feel like this isn't true because I kind of doubt that this movie will actually be rated R. I just have a feeling. Plus, I just hope it's not true at this point because I don't want it to be rated R. But anyway, the rest of the article goes on to talk about Starro, who will be the main villain of this movie. And apparently Starro is being held captive in a tower and doesn't really speak at all. So that may be why, like, a lot of us were thinking that maybe Taika Waititi would be voicing Starro. But according to this, Starro won't really speak. But apparently he will speak. It will just be through his victims and only when he's mind-controlling people. So the actual starfish itself won't talk. But when Starro is mind-controlling people, those people will talk with his words, I guess you could say. So that's cool. And apparently he's going to get bigger and bigger throughout the film. He'll probably start off as like a tiny starfish in like some kind of pod in that tower thing. But then as the film goes on, he gets bigger and bigger until the end when he's that giant Starro starfish, which is going to be really cool to see what he actually looks like here and how that design translates from the comics into the movie, because it's a really complicated character to get right in live action and actually make look cool. Now there are a couple more things in here. This is one of the more spoilerish things. Pete Davidson is not at all a major character in this movie. As you know, he's going to be playing Blackguard, and apparently he's only going to be in the film for about 10 minutes, so sounds like he's not making it out of this alive. And I theorized about this in my breakdown of the behind-the-scenes footage, because, you know, he just doesn't seem like the kind of character that's going to make it out. I feel like he's going to be maybe in that first team of the Suicide Squad that will get killed off. Plus, there were some scenes in the behind-the-scenes footage where it looked like he was surrendering or something. And sure, you can surrender all you want, but they probably won't care, and they'll probably kill him anyway. So, yeah. But bad news for Pete Davidson Blackguard fans, because not looking too good for him. But then finally, the final bit of info in this article is something I actually already talked about today, and how Taika Waititi is going to be playing the original Ratcatcher. So if you haven't checked that out yet, go check out that video. I just posted it a couple hours ago to find out my thoughts on that and just what kind of role he'll play in the movie. So go check that out. I'll leave the link to it down in the description below. And finally, this film will be, the running time is currently just over 2 hours. So, you know, that's the running time. It's just a bit over 2 hours. All right, good to know. Now, the reason they know all this stuff is because there have apparently been multiple test screenings, and makes sense because, first of all, the studio executives have to watch the movie to make sure they're good with it and everything, and James Gunn said during the DC fandom panel that everyone at the studio was super happy with how this film turned out. So I guess that's good, but I don't know. I really hope that this article is not true because I really don't want this film to be rated R. Like, I'll be fine with it, but I'd really prefer it not to. But we will just have to wait and see. And we'll get more information in the coming weeks and months as we get closer to the film's release date, about a year from now, August 6, 2021. So it's going to be interesting. But guys, let me know down in the comments below, do you want this movie to be rated R? Plus, how do you feel about all the Starro stuff going on there, as well as Blackguard and Pete Davidson not being in the movie too much? So let me know all that down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit that subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.